Afghanistan is falling to the Taliban. They claim to have 85% of the country under their control. The focus now is on the border, strategic checkpoints that control trade with neighbors. The Taliban is gaining control of them. Today they captured the Islam Kala crossing. This is one of the biggest trade routes between Afghanistan and Iran. Reports say this route generates a revenue of $20 million every month for the Afghan government. Now it is in the hands of the Taliban, a big source of money and more fodder for their propaganda machine. They've been sharing videos like this one. It is believed to be from the Islam Kala crossing. The Taliban can be seen taking down the Afghan flag from the roof of the border customs office. What's the Afghanistan government doing? They say, beginning efforts to take back this territory. It looks like an uphill task for these forces. In recent weeks, the Afghan government has lost several districts near the borders. Afghanistan shares borders with 7 countries. In the last 1 week, the Taliban has taken control of border areas along at least 5 of them: Iran, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, China and Pakistan. Look at this map. The Taliban has captured several districts along the border. The aim is clear: gaining control of key checkpoints on Afghanistan's borders. The Taliban can do a lot of damage with this. They can dictate who or what gets in or out. They can control the flow of essentials, choke supplies to areas that fall under the civilian government. The Taliban could potentially use these routes for smuggling. With the fall of every district, the group is gaining strength. The Taliban now claims to control 85% of Afghanistan, a claim that is disputed by the Afghan government and impossible to verify independently. Today, the Taliban's representatives were in Moscow. The delegation was there to offer assurances that their gains on the battleground do not threaten Russia or Russian allies in Central Asia. They even held a press conference. With momentum on their side, the Taliban was clearly trying to dictate the terms. They said they want every Afghan to be a stakeholder in building Afghanistan, but there won't be any compromise on the implementation of Islamic law.
We have commitment that we will not allow anyone, any individual, any entity to use the soil of Afghanistan against the neighboring country, the regional country, and the world country, including the United States and its allies.
We want all sections of the Afghan society, without depending on their size and ethnicity, to take part in Afghanistan state building. We stay at the position of the Islamic law.
A lot of promises were made in this press conference. The Taliban said they will not allow terrorists to operate on their soil. That's a bit rich coming from what has itself been a terror group. The Taliban also said that humanitarian organizations will be allowed to operate in Afghanistan. Allowed, mark the words. It said that there will be no military activity in the 34 provinces of Afghanistan. But it did not explain what is happening right now. If there is to be no violence, no terrorism, then why is the Taliban pushing Afghanistan towards a civil war now? Why is it trying to take territory by force? As of today, their only motive appears to be to control power, not share it. Not to rebuild Afghanistan, but to recapture it. They're also scouting for willing allies, those who don't believe in democracy or basic freedoms or power sharing. I'll give you an example. The Taliban says it is ready to welcome China into Afghanistan with open arms. They see Beijing as a friend. They want to roll out the red carpet for China. They want China to begin reconstruction work in Afghanistan, quote unquote, as soon as possible. These are the words of Taliban spokesperson Suhail Shaheen. Let me quote from what he said. He said, "We welcome them. If they have investments, of course we'll ensure their safety. Their safety is very important for us." China's safety is very important for the Taliban, they say, and there's more. "We have been to China many times and we have good relations with them. China is a friendly country that we welcome them for reconstruction and developing Afghanistan." Well, Beijing saw the writing on the wall for America. It knew that American troop withdrawal was only a matter of time, so it started working on the Taliban. It expanded engagements. It started calling them to China for a dialogue, and now the Chinese are ready to swoop upon Afghanistan. What is America going to do about this? Well, for the moment, nothing. Last night, US President Joe Biden held a press conference. He said the US did not come to Afghanistan for nation building. It's up to the people of Afghanistan to decide what they want for their future.
We did not go to Afghanistan to nation build. And it's the right and the responsibility of the Afghan people alone to decide their future and how they want to run their country. It's up to the people of Afghanistan to decide on what government they want, not us to impose the government on them. To be clear, countries in the region have an essential role to play in supporting a peaceful settlement. We'll work with them, and they should help step up their efforts as well.
And they should help step up their efforts as well. That was the US president shifting the onus on Afghanistan's neighbors. The message is clear. Washington is non-committal about a peaceful transition in Afghanistan, and it's up to Afghanistan and its neighbors now to clean up the mess that the American troops are leaving behind. Thankfully, not everyone has left Afghanistan to its fate. Today, India and Russia held a high-level engagement. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is in Moscow for 2 days. Earlier this week, he was in Tehran to discuss the situation in Afghanistan. After the talks today, the Russian Foreign Minister did not mince words in his assessment. He said that he was concerned about the rapid capture of territory by the Taliban.
Of course, the events in Afghanistan concern us due to the possibility of these problems spreading on the territory of our allies. As to the fact that the Talibs have captured the checkpoints on the borders of Iran and Tajikistan, while it is happening on the Afghan territory, we do not intend to react in any way, except for the persistent reiteration of calls for the start of the political process, which all the Afghans supported with their voices.
What did India have to say? Minister Jaishankar voiced his concern on the spiraling violence. He reaffirmed support to the democratically elected government, and he said the quote-unquote legitimacy aspect should not be ignored.
We believe that the immediate need of the day is really a reduction in violence. So the point right now we stress is that we must see a reduction in violence. Violence cannot be the solution for the situation in Afghanistan. And at the end of the day, who governs Afghanistan has a legitimacy aspect to it. I think that is something which cannot and should not be ignored.
Minister Jaishankar's support to the democratically elected government is welcome. But right now, we also know that India is hedging its bets in Afghanistan, and India's External Affairs Minister could be navigating a major shift, one that could define New Delhi's future relationship with Kabul. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.